The sun is rising over Portimão. The paddock is alive again. It's round 21 of the 2025 MotoGP season, the Portuguese Grand Prix. And if you thought this season was over, think again. Because what's coming this weekend could change the future of MotoGP. And maybe even the balance of power inside the most dominant force the sport has ever seen. MotoGP, at its heart, is chaos controlled by courage. 24 riders, each separated by fractions of a second, chasing one dream: victory. But in recent years, one color has come to dominate the grid. Ever since the Bologna factory found its perfect rhythm in 2022, the sport has changed. 8 Ducatis on the grid, 8 missiles armed with Italian precision and engineering genius. And one terrifying question hanging over the rest of the paddock: can anyone stop them? In 2025, the answer is still no. Ducati isn't just winning. They're rewriting what domination looks like. The Bezzecchi GP25 has evolved into a monster of efficiency. Corner speed, top speed, traction and aero all working in terrifying harmony. When a Ducati hits full throttle on the Portimão straight, it's not just fast. It sounds like a symphony of destruction. But even empires have cracks. This season has been Ducati's most unpredictable yet. Because while the bikes are still flawless, the riders, they're fighting their own internal war. On one side, there's Francesco Bagnaia, the factory team's leader, the 2-time world champion, the golden boy of Bologna. Calm, technical, ruthless when it counts. He knows what it takes to win. But this season has tested even him. Crashes, mechanicals, and fierce new competition have kept his title hopes in constant jeopardy. Then there's Bezzecchi, the ever-smiling assassin from VR46, who has quietly built one of the most consistent seasons of his career. He may not have the biggest bike budget, but he's got heart. And Portimão could be where he seals his best-ever MotoGP finish. And waiting in the shadows, there's Enea Bastianini, the beast, who's had flashes of brilliance but has struggled for consistency. For him, these final rounds are not just about points. They're about survival in a factory that demands perfection. The Ducati family may share data, engines, and colors, but make no mistake, under those helmets, every man rides for himself. Now, let's talk about the place. Portimão, the roller coaster of the Algarve. A layout unlike any other in MotoGP. Blind corners that appear out of nowhere, jaw-dropping elevation changes, and a final corner that can destroy dreams in a heartbeat. Riders call it one of the toughest circuits in the world. Fans call it heaven. And Ducati? They call it opportunity because their bike, the Bezzecchi, loves Portimão's mix of fast corners and brutal acceleration zones. This circuit amplifies everything that makes Ducati powerful. But here's the twist. It also exposes their weaknesses. In the mid-corner phases, where balance and control matter most, rivals like KTM and Aprilia can close in, and that's where the magic happens. Pure rider talent, battling pure mechanical supremacy. Speaking of KTM, there's one man who refuses to stay quiet: Pedro Acosta. At just 21 years old, the rookie from Spain has rewritten what's possible in modern MotoGP. He's not here to learn. He's here to fight. Every race, every overtake, every risk he takes feels like a declaration of intent. He's not intimidated by Ducati. He's studying them, learning their every move, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. He's fast, fearless, and frighteningly intelligent. And if anyone can disrupt Ducati's empire in the coming years, it might just be him. But this weekend, his mission is simple: beat Bagnaia, beat Bezzecchi, and take the final podium of the season. Then, there's the emotional heartbeat of the weekend: Miguel Oliveira, Portugal's own hero. The man who made history in 2020 by winning the first MotoGP race ever held at Portimão. This weekend, he returns to this same circuit in front of his home crowd, for the final time as a MotoGP rider. For Miguel, it's not just another race, it's farewell. A farewell to the roar of 300 horsepower machines, the smell of burning rubber, the life he's lived since childhood. He's not chasing glory this weekend, he's chasing closure. And sometimes that's more powerful than any championship. When he lines up on the grid, thousands will rise to their feet. For one last time, Portugal's favorite son will launch off the line and give everything he has. Meanwhile, in the shadows of Ducati's dominance, other stories are quietly unfolding. Honda, once untouchable, is beginning to rebuild. After years of disappointment and inconsistency, they've finally started showing flashes of the old magic. Joan Mir and Luca Marini have brought home valuable points, and the Japanese factory's engineers are working around the clock to evolve the RC213V into something competitive again. For them, every race matters. Even a top 5 finish feels like victory. If they score enough points this weekend, they'll climb from rank D to rank C under MotoGP's concession system, unlocking the testing freedom they desperately need. And over at Yamaha, Fabio Quartararo remains the lone warrior. It's been a brutal year for the Frenchman, full of mechanical frustration and missed opportunities. But his fight hasn't faded. He knows the bike is behind, but the heart never quits. And Portimão, with its high-speed corners and aggressive braking zones, might just give him the window he needs to remind the world why he was a champion. But every eye in the paddock, every camera lens, every headline points toward Ducati. Because this weekend, the Red Army has a new face. Enter Nicolo Bulega, the young Italian making his MotoGP debut, fresh from a jaw-dropping superbike season where he finished second overall. Bulega has been called the next big thing in Italian racing. He's already signed as Ducati's official test rider for 2026, but now fate has given him a head start. Replacing the injured Marc Marquez for the final 2 rounds, Bulega will finally get his hands on the Desmosedici GP25. He tested it privately last week, just enough to taste the beast. Now, under the lights of Portimão, he'll face the full power of MotoGP. No one expects him to win, but everyone will be watching, because sometimes all it takes is one daring move, one fearless overtake, to announce yourself to the world. Inside Ducati's camp, the tension is palpable. 8 riders, all capable of winning. But only one factory seat will remain open for 2026. That means one mistake, one crash, one bad weekend could decide careers. That's why the air in the paddock feels heavier this weekend, because every ride counts. The engineers, the mechanics, even the team principals. They all know that Portimão is more than just a race. It's a test of machine, mind, and nerve. The fans in the stands might see motorcycles and helmets, but behind the scenes, this is war. Telemetry data, strategy briefings, tire choices down to the millimeter. The smallest decisions can make or break a race. And that's what makes MotoGP so addictive. Every time those red lights go out, you're not just watching bikes, you're watching courage in motion. As Sunday approaches, the weather looks perfect. Warm air, clear skies, and dry asphalt, ideal for chaos. But in Portimão, nothing ever stays predictable. A gust of wind on the back straight can change a rider's line. A late braking attempt in turn 13 can turn into heartbreak. And in this sport, a blink is all it takes to go from hero to headline. So what can fans expect when the race begins? If history tells us anything, it's this. Portimão delivers drama. Every single race here since 2020 has produced something extraordinary. From Oliveira's emotional home win to Bagnaia's dominant double, from Acosta's rookie brilliance to Marquez's unforgettable comeback, this circuit has become MotoGP's theater of chaos. And this year, the stage feels set for something special. Bezzecchi chasing third in the Championship Bagnaia, trying to prove his legacy. Acosta looking to steal. A podium from giants, and Bulega making his debut among legends. Add to that, Oliveira's final farewell. And you have all the ingredients for a race that fans will talk about for years. But the real question burning through the paddock right now isn't just who will win in Portugal. It's what comes next. Because behind Ducati's dominance, MotoGP is changing. The aerodynamics war is escalating. And every manufacturer, KTM, Aprilia, Honda, Yamaha, is chasing that same secret sauce that Ducati found years ago. The next few seasons could redefine MotoGP entirely. Will Ducati's red reign continue? Or will a new era rise? powered by innovation, courage, and maybe even a young star who's not afraid to challenge the empire. The answers start here in Portugal. As the engines line up on Sunday, every rider knows what's at stake. For some, it's glory. For others, survival. For Miguel Oliveira, it's goodbye. The lights flash. The crowd holds its breath. The roar builds. 5 red lights. And in an instant, 300 horsepower explodes across the tarmac. The Portuguese Grand Prix is underway. Bagnaia hunting for redemption. Bezzecchi fighting for pride. Acosta pushing for history. And Bolego chasing a dream that's only just beginning. This is MotoGP, where men and machines dance on the edge of physics. And the line between bravery and disaster disappears at 350 kilometers per hour. The championship may be nearly over, but the story, it's only just beginning. Because here in Portimão, under the endless blue sky, history doesn't wait for anyone. The Red Army has arrived. The rookies are rising, and the spirit of MotoGP, unpredictable, untamed, unforgettable, is alive and roaring. This is the Portuguese Grand Prix. This is MotoGP. This is the fight for the future.